or killed while spreading the good news of Jesus, and to also trust in the Holy Spirit to help them, Jesus is interrupted by, "You have ample goods laid up for many years. Be merry." But God said to him, "A son who feels the law is unfair, or an eldest son In fact, more possessions can trap us in the sin of greed. The rich landowner was possessed by his possessions. The only thing he seems able to think about is how to keep them, where to store them, and how to provide more for them. He seems to believe he is in control of his life and his future, yet it becomes clear that his possessions actually control him, leading him to act in a wasteful and thoughtless way. In Jesus' time, people's identities were deeply connected to their community, their family, their tribe, their village, their religious group. But the wealthy landowner does not mention anyone besides himself. He uses the word I or my 11 times in just 3 verses. He is solely focused on his things and himself. There is no mention of God's blessings, any family, or even the workers he must have employed to help grow his crops. There are so many things he could do in response to his overabundance. He could thank God. He could thank his workers, share the extra crops with the workers, his family, or his community. But the only idea he comes up with is to tear down his perfectly good existing barns and build new and bigger ones. This is such a sin that God speaks directly, the only parable in which God does so, to call the landowner a fool and let him know that he will die at that very night and his possessions will become meaningless. Greed leads the landowner into thinking only about himself and traps him into actions and a life that is left with no meaning. Do we act the same way? An online article published in May of 2024 gave eye-opening statistics about the size of American homes today. Within the last 40 years, since around 1980, home size in the United States has increased by 150%. In 1980, the median home was around 1,600 square feet, while today the median home is around 2,400 square feet. But while our homes have been getting bigger and bigger, the number of people living in our homes has gotten smaller and smaller. Enough so that within the last 40 years, the space available for each person in the home has more than doubled, which means the space available for all of our stuff has also more than doubled. Are we like the young man wanting more inheritance and like the wealthy landowner building bigger, better barns? Are we possessed by our possessions? Psychology today explains that acquiring new items provides an illusion of control and short-term comfort in situations that feel overwhelming. This is often what we like to call retail therapy. Control us. But what could control us? But what could we be freed on our possessions? Tradition has handed down to us that the author of the book of Luke was a physician and a sometime companion of the Apostle Paul. Although there is nothing that can really prove this, I like the idea of Luke as a physician because the parable of the rich fool diagnoses a problem, that an abundance of possessions does not give us life, nor does it secure our life. In fact, an abundance of possessions can lead us to the sin of greed, keeping us locked in a never-ending cycle of attaining more and more, making us fearful and anxious, and keeping us focused on ourselves. But we don't have a prescription for the problem at the end of the parable. We have to keep reading. Jesus' response doesn't end with the parable.